Greetings everyone, my name is sambeje from Your Scholar. Today we're still continuing with our topic, the journey of becoming a scholar. But today our guest is Ms. Nokubonga Mbandzi, who is a PhD candidate from WSU University. So now, without wasting any time, let's welcome our scholar. Ms. Mbandzi, welcome. Before doing anything or going any further, would like to know a bit more and have like a bit more insight about you. So would you take us there, please?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this YouTube channel, which I hope will be informative throughout your episodes. My name is Nokubonga Mbandzi, born and bred in Port St. John's in a village called Chwebeni. I did my junior classes there, Chwebeni JSS. There later went on doing my high school at Nokubezulu High, which is also in Port St. John's. I can say I am a very shy individual, but I've grown up as a curious child. And as such, I was involved in many activities both in junior classes and in high school. Activities like acting, singing. I was involved in debate classes. Was also a monitor in my class. Yeah, that's how I can describe myself, I think.
Yeah. With knowing all of that, can you take us through your academic journey, please?
There's so many things to say about my academic journey, but I would like to start with my journey of being in a postgraduate studies, starting at my honors level. So when I first started doing my honors, I was doing my honors with Dr. Neil Vine, who is a professor now. Basically, what you do, in your honors level, you are being introduced to the methods of how to do the research. So there I have gained so much experience in how to start doing the actual research going on further. So I went on doing my master's still with University of Fort Hare, but now based in a South African Institute for Aquatic Biodiversity Center, which is located in Grahamstown. I was experiencing a lot of good things, I can say, even though along the journey you do find some difficulties, which one as one becoming a scholar on your journey, you should also note that there are some difficulties are temporal difficulties that you will encounter. But then a temporal difficulty is nothing but just a temporal difficulty. That means you will succeed at some point. So throughout the years, I remained teachable, which is who I am. I literally learn from everyone. So I take the necessary information. So as a scholar as well, that is the best thing that one need to do. So after my, as I said, after my honors, I went on doing my master's at SciAb. There I was supervised by one of an incredible supervisors, which is Professor Woodfield and Professor Ryan Wasserman, a doctor at a time. They taught me so many things, including knowing that people are different. You just have to learn what's working for you and take the best information of what's working for you, basically. Thereafter, I went on doing my. I wanted to do my PhD right away after my my master's. But then I was advised, to just jump on doing it for the sake of doing it. I had to know why do I want to do my PhD. Of course, after knowing who do you want to work with, which is one of the most important things in your postgraduate journey. You have to know why do you want to do it, what do you want to do, and who do you want to work with, which is very important as well. Where? So I took an advice of doing an internship, which gave me a sort of giving me time to really think what I wanted to do. So I went on doing an internship with a South African Observatory Network, which is here in Gqeberha. Doing that with Dr. Sean Dazel. Thereafter, in 2018, which was the year I wanted to do now my actual PhD. I've been looking forward to do it. I applied for bursaries. Then I got the bursary. But then unfortunately, later on, they had to say, no, we are no longer give away that bursary because it was for the post, for PDP, for people who have already have PhDs. So they had to omit that program. So now I applied in one of the incredible university, NMU, for the first attempt of my PhD. But there was a problem. I can say me and my former mentor or former supervisor, we had different goals. Our aims were not different. We wanted different things. So I had to leave, which is why I landed in WSU, Walter Sisulu University. So I can say coming back to Walter University, it was like going back home. Yeah, it was like going back home when when you've been away for some time home and then you come back. I applied by sending an email. So one of the things, whenever I want to do something, I always feel nervous sometimes, but I do it anyway, which is one of the important things in life. Even if you feel scared, you just do it anyway. It all will work out. So I sent an email to Dr. Nakin, who is at the Ravak Center. This long, very long email looking like an essay explaining what I would like to do, what do I have, my skills, and all those kind of stuff. And then one thing that he said, send me your details. So I sent my details. Of course, my academic record, my scores, they had to speak for myself, even if I had explained why do I want to do that and all the other information I've given. But I had to have good scores. I had to have good marks. Yeah. So through my PhD, I would just sum up one of the broader experiences that I had. I had, because I just recently submitted anyway. Yay. So one of the best things that that kept me going, I can say, was to know exactly the reason why am I doing this. Like, why am I doing this PhD? It wasn't just because of me getting a title or getting any other sort of famous title stuff, but I had to know why. And also I had to remain teachable. Being a teacher, teachable, meaning that you learn from everyone, and not necessarily mean you need to learn from the so-called intellectual people only, but whoever who's providing an information that you think it's necessary. So I've always taken the necessary information. Also, I remained disciplined. I had to remain disciplined in terms of I had to focus, like fully focus omit or don't just switch off the other parts of my life during that period so that I can fully focus. As well, I had to do it for me. So you always have to do those things, as well as you have to respect time. You know, even if you're not doing anything, time is always ticking, it's always moving. So yeah, I had to deliver all the time. Yes, I can say that.
So, with starting with the undergraduate degree, normally people don't just go through this degree. What was the drive to pursue that degree, and what made you go there? And yeah, if you still remember, can you just also tell us the requirements or the scores that you must have in order to pursue that sort of degree?
Yeah, now going to this is very good question. I have to say, now going back to my high school, ne? So I remember at the start of my grade 12, one of my high school teachers, Mr. Joey, a math teacher. So he used to say the marathon starts now. It was January. You have to run as fast as you can. Make sure every test counts. So one thing I can say to the upcoming scholars which are still in high school and stuff like that, you need to always run. You need to make sure all the scores are good. And not only the subjects that you like the best subject that you feel like you need to pass, but you need to pass all the subjects. So we were not fortunate enough in our days where currently there are things like exhibitions, people coming to advise students on how much percentage do you need to pass in order to get to whatever degree you wanna apply for. So, but now the information is out there. So the best one, which is the minimum, in fact, I can say 50%, you need to have at least many fours. It's a level 4. You need to have many level 4s minimum for you to be admitted to many universities in South Africa. But I don't want to say to a learner, be comfortable with the 50s. You need to aim higher, and then so that when you fall, at least you fall safely. So at least if you can, if a learner can work to get a scores like the 60s, the 70s, of course, oh my, the 80s.
Yes.
Some other qualifications like medicine, physics, or if you are going to be is it actual science? I think you need to have good scores in physics and maths and and your languages as well. So for me, the minimum requirements I had many 4s, 5s, and 6, the 7 in there,
Okay.
So I was enrolled to do like not PhD, BSc in zoology. So I was admitted to do BSc in zoology at University of Water for my first year. So yeah, I can say a student needs to do really good in your home languages and in your what is this, the subject, the other subjects that you are doing as well. Your major subjects, yes, I wanted to say your major subject, you have to do it. If you are in physics class, make sure your physics is 4, 5, 6, oh my, and 7. Your maths, 4, 5, 6, and 7s as well. Yes. And I wish yes, I wish there could be more exhibitions that going out to schools to explain this kind of information.
Wow. If I can still remember, you just called us scholars. Yeah, I think everyone has heard that, and it's quite good information. But anyway, would you just explain what a scholar is? Because some of us might not have an explanation or know what a scholar is. And also, can you just briefly tell us about the duties of the scholars?
I think in simple terms, the way I can understand a scholar, I can say a scholar is someone who has acquired information, and that can be quite maybe for a longer period of time sometimes. And then you have a responsibility to share that information to other people. Yeah, I think that's how I can think of a scholar.
Very brief indeed. So, would you maybe stipulate or tell us about your future, maybe future jobs if you're a scholar, or maybe you can relate in yourself as well?
So for me now, I am, yeah, I can say I am a marine biologist. Yeah, because I did marine science. So in my field, you can be a lecturer. That means you lecturing whatever whatever subject that you are an expert on. You can also work in the private sectors, being a researcher. You can also as well be a researcher in university and also lecture at the same time. But as well, you can be a researcher in a separate institution. You can also be a researcher in a governmental institution. What else you can do? Yeah, I think there's many more, especially if you are, but if you want to take, there are different paths you can take, whether you want to be a researcher or you want to go to just doing a teaching or being employed in a certain governmental sector like DEA, Department of Environmental Affairs, Department of Water and Sanitation, forestry and fisheries, my lines of departments that I can work on. Yeah, the other research institutions like CSIR, SCION, SIAB, RAVAC is a center in itself. Yeah, and others that I might have not mentioned. Yes.
Okay, most of the time when people talk about scholars, they talk about research and they mention words like scholars, like they've been doing their theses and most of the time even referring to dissertation. What is research basically, as the scholars use this word so much?
Yes. So research in, like, if I can put it in terms, I can say research is it's a collective work. I can say, yeah, a collective or systematic work. Uh, and this work you need to collect information when you're doing research. You need to organize that information, and then you need to analyze that information in order for you to get the best conclusions, or in order for you to be aware of whatever the questions you had, if you had questions, or whatever the quest you were looking for. So that is research. So it is the best tool to build up knowledge. That's all I can say. Then why it's important? Like, research is used in many things. Like, you guys, I'm sure before you even started your YouTube channel, you were also conducted research and see what is needed, how to do that and that. Businessmen, they conduct research. So is the writers, they conduct research before they do their writings, either through their head or in the external objects. Yeah, so it is important because it makes us aware. It gives people awareness. Yes, it gives people awareness. Research. That's the best thing about it. It gives us awareness and it teaches us how to think. That's why it's important. Not only it grows one's intellectual capacity, yeah, it teaches us all how to think.
Scholars, we study so much and we have a lot of years to study. Like, why is it so important to have this much years of studying? And if you can just also include yourself in counting these years.
Okay. So 2010, I registered for my first year at University of Fort Hare. Then 2013, I finished up doing it, but it was a 3-year program. Unfortunately for me, I had to come back to redo a module that I have failed, which is funny enough, because that module is the same subject that I have done a PhD on. So it was a 3-year program, BSc in zoology and microbiology. That's how it's called, the University of Fort Hare. They still have it. And 2014, my honors, it takes about a year if you're a full-time student. So you only do your honors about a year. So I did that. 2015-16, I did my master's, which takes about 2 years if you are a full-time student. And then if you're part-time, there's an additional year. Then for my PhD, 2019 up until now, when I recently submitted. There's so many reasons why, like becoming a scholar or finishing whatever project that you're doing can take longer. There's so many reasons. So yeah, I can put it into this way. If you, like for example, every sportsman, if they want the best results, they need to work harder. They need to exercise harder. If you want a good body shape, you need to work harder. And I think so is the way of becoming a scholar. If you want to have a better knowledge, you need to inquire information more often at a longer period. It takes time. But then there are certain temporal obstacles, I can say obstacles. Things like not having enough resources to do your research or to become on your journey of being a scholar. You might not have the necessary resources, or there might be a miscommunication between you, your mentors, your bosses, your collaborators, whoever you're working with, and that can make you take much more time.
It's been an ongoing question to other people that is it worth it to become a scholar, and in terms of the economic stability, and also would you actually recommend people to go through this long journey?
Very good question. So yes, I can recommend. Why? Just because my journey was harder, or just because my journey was easier, it doesn't mean yours will be the same as mine. So our paths are different. So I believe if you think you've got what it takes, you need to check for yourself. You need to do it for yourself. So I cannot limit anyone by posing or by introducing only the bad experiences, maybe if I can put it that way, that I have encountered along the way. Or if, for an example, this issue of not getting a job immediately after you've graduated, it might make other people not even consider like taking this journey. They might see it as worthless, like why would I spend so much time if I'm not going to get a job? But so as other people who are not educated as well, you, in everything, you have to wait for your order, just everybody else. So I would definitely recommend either you in my field or in engineering or medical sector or wherever. If you feel like you've got what it takes, go for it. Yes.
Well, this is a very heady question. Is it worth it on the community, or is it worth it also socially? Do you add any value in economic or in a social setting?
It might not have like the direct impact, but like as a student, like you go to school, of course, for you to get better opportunities, like the employment opportunities. So in a societal view, I can say it gives more people to have skills or better employment opportunities, and also it can grow your mind to also give back to the community in however way. Either you volunteer to do the activities at school, or becoming a member of whatever important activities that it is that you want to give back to the community. I believe so. Also minimizes the poverty.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mbandzi, for that opportunity, and we'll also like to see your progress in the future. To the viewers, thank you for watching. Thanks for viewing. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe and press the like button. Till the next video, thank you.